guess to continue a little bit more with good versus evil, it gives very clear stakes on each side. Like, what is the hero ultimately going for? Um, and I just enjoy following a story where, again, the main character has a fairly clear idea of what they need to do or what they need to defend or protect. And and like I've said before, I enjoy themes of, family and, babies aren't useless. And because so many stories make it seem like, actually having a family, whether you adopt the kid or not, it makes it almost seem like worthless when it comes to certain kinds of stories nowadays. So, yeah, if I'm a more of a traditionalist, then so be it. I want to see also child characters that aren't as um because most times people kind of make them into mini adults, and that's not quite how it works. So I've been looking around to make sure there's more stories with like less Wesley Crushers and more, say, Dashes from The Incredibles, to where he's a basically a good example of how to do a kid character. He has his virtues and his vices, and at one point he can seem a little bit mature, but then at another point it's like you can tell that he needs his parents. So again, that's what I'm also missing from stories. It's like not the hero's family doesn't have to die to create a conflict. Again, you can have a conflict within families, whether they either have different values or that sometimes having a sibling be the evil one. Well, I think that's been overplayed a bit too much. Like, I have a hidden twin. Oh, he's my evil doppelganger. No, I can tell you this right now. Uplift Protocol is not going to have that. If you read the prequel book, then you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah. Uh, but yeah, good and evil, again, because it provides very clear stakes. I'll try to link a few books below that I find, again, some of them are classics and some of them are more new stuff in terms of indies. So, I'm. God, what else? What makes good and evil so compelling for me nowadays is, again, because what's running the gamut everywhere is a bunch of dystopias. The handful of dystopia things that I have read that would appeal to me is, again, like Fist from the North Star, or Fist of the North Star rather. Ken is pretty much the Superman of his setting, so I enjoy following his adventures. He tries to do the right thing and has a clear moral center. So even in a craptastic world like his, he tries to do his best and help heal the people around him, which I can greatly appreciate. Plus, if push comes to shove, he will fight and defend innocent people, even at his own expense. So that's the kind of self-sacrificing kind of male character I do like to see. And that's the reason why narcissistic characters are such a turnoff for me. And I guess one example, again, is that superhero prose thing I found a few days back, where the opening has the main character talk about mundane stuff of her life and like, oh, my back hurts. Oh, I was so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in the beginning, and now I'm just cynical kind of mindset. Because again, the thing indicated that she was so super happy to start doing stuff, but then the way it's described, it's like, holy crap, you're describing sometimes what my retail job feels like. It's like it is hard to keep up a more chipper attitude at work sometimes. I do success. I do become successful at that for the most part. But there are some days where it's like, oh my goodness, I just want to have a coffee and just curl up. But with superhero pros, yeah, you gotta have a character, especially in that kind of setting, to where they're very gung ho about being a superhero. Good versus evil is paramount. I think so many writers have a harder time with it nowadays because they automatically assume, oh, gray complexity is more engaging. Maybe for some people, but for me, my personal wheelhouse, no. I found it's overdone. Everybody and their brother does it to give like a sense, I guess, of some sort of kind of character growth arc, whether it's positive or negative. Actually, those arc things are one of the few writing tips that seems pretty interesting. But again, the show versus tell thing, which I see pop up in reviews even more often nowadays. Again, if you're telling a story, you're a storyteller. So you'll tell more than show. Again, showing is mostly for screenplays, at least from what I've seen. Because again, when I'm reading a book, I don't want to be bogged down with a bunch of show. Because it's like, no, just get to the fucking plot already. So, old style good and evil stories like Narnia and Lord of the Rings are a good starting point if you want to see a more traditional, moral center. And yes, sure, Aslan is an allegory, but it's not very heavy handed, at least to me. It's mostly an interesting setting to explore and see what the characters do. It's, again, just preferences, and that is my wheelhouse preferences. I don't want moral ambiguity. I've seen so much of it with so many books that it's an instant turnoff for me nowadays. Heck, when I do decide to start up tabletop again, in some way or form or another, I'm probably gonna want to play like a paladin type character. Not somebody who's overbearingly stuffy, but somebody that has a clear moral center to guide them. Because I have a feeling I'll probably do better with that than playing someone constantly at the edge of trying to make the best of a bad situation when the setting itself is supposed to encourage like psychological horror and stuff like that. So again, that'll be wrapping up soon, and I'll be able to think of other characters. I might not have an active tabletop, game for a little while after this part's over. But again, to tie into good and evil, I just want clear stakes again. I really do.